There are 32 Caribbean countries in the world. In previous two videos in detailed we described Caribbean countries. So in this video now we discuss more 8 Caribbean countries. 17 Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, officially the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Free Associated State of Puerto Rico, and briefly called Puerto Rico, is an unincorporated territory of the United States located in the Northeast Caribbean Sea, approximately 1,000 miles (1,600 kilometers) southeast of Miami, Florida. An archipelago among the Greater Antilles, located between the Dominican Republic and the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico includes the eponymous main island and several smaller islands, such as Mona, Culebra, and Vieques. The capital and most populous city is San Juan. Founded in 1521 by Juan Ponce de León, who named it City of Puerto Rico, Rich Port. With an area of 3,425 square miles (9,104 square kilometers). Puerto Rico is the third largest island in the United States and the 82nd largest island in the world. The territory's total population is approximately 3.4 million, more than 21 U.S. states. Spanish and English are the official languages of the executive branch of government, though Spanish predominates. Puerto Rico use of U.S. currency. Puerto Rico's monetary unit is the United States dollar (USD), as it is a Commonwealth country of the United States of America. Puerto Ricans refer to the U.S. dollar as the peso or dólar. The dollar is made up of 100 cents, called centavos or cheviettes by locals. Religion in Puerto Rico. The majority of Puerto Ricans are Roman Catholic, but religious freedom for all faiths is guaranteed by the Commonwealth Constitution. There is a Jewish community center in Miramar, and there's a Jewish Reformed congregation in Santurce. The climate of Puerto Rico in the Köppen climate classification is predominantly tropical rainforest. Temperatures throughout the year are warm to hot, averaging near 85 degrees Fahrenheit (29 degrees Celsius) in lower elevations and 70 degrees Fahrenheit (21 degrees Celsius) in the mountains. 18 Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe is an archipelago forming an overseas region of France in the Caribbean. It consists of 6 inhabited islands, Basse-Terre, Grande-Terre, Marie-Galante, La Désirade, and the Isles des Saintes, as well as many uninhabited islands and outcroppings. It lies south of Antigua and Barbuda and Montserrat, and north of Dominica. The largest city is Pointe-à-Pitre. Its capital is Basse-Terre on the west coast. With a total land area of about 1,630 square kilometers, Guadeloupe is slightly smaller than 2/3 of Luxembourg, or somewhat larger than half the size of Rhode Island. Guadeloupe has a 2020 population of 400,124 according to the latest estimates from the UN's World Population Prospects. Guadeloupe and its dependent islands still carry its motherland's culture, as well as its official language of French. The local currency in Guadeloupe is the euro. Although U.S. dollars and traveler's checks, which are increasingly rare, may be accepted at some locations, it's best to rely primarily on major credit cards for larger purchases, and cash for small purchases. The majority are Roman Catholic, with a minority of predominantly evangelical Protestant groups. In Guadeloupe, the climate is tropical, hot and humid all year round, with a relatively cool and dry season from January to mid-April, called Carême Lent, and a hot, humid and rainy season from mid-June to mid-November, called hivernage. The root of the word reminds of the winter, although it is a hot season, and also quite sunny. In the former period, the northeast trade winds, constant winds typical of tropical climates, blow steadily and with moderate intensity, while in the latter period, these winds are more irregular, and may have some breaks, increasing the feeling of sultriness. Between them, there are 2 transitional periods, from mid-November to early January when the northeast trade winds start to blow, the temperature decreases a bit and the weather gets better, and from mid-April to mid-June when both the temperature and the frequency of downpours gradually increase. 19 Martinique. Martinique is an insular region of France located in the Lesser Antilles of the West Indies in the eastern Caribbean Sea, with a land area of 1,128 square kilometers (436 square miles). Like Guadeloupe, it is an overseas region of France, consisting of a single overseas department. One of the Windward Islands, it is directly north of St. Lucia, northwest of Barbados and south of Dominica. As one of the 18 regions of France, Martinique is part of the European Union. Fort-de-France is the capital of Martinique and the largest city in the French Antilles. The total area of Martinique is 1,128 square kilometers, 436 square miles, of which 40 square kilometers, 15 square miles is water and the rest land. Martinique is the third largest island in the Lesser Antilles after Trinidad and Guadeloupe and a population of 376,480 inhabitants as of January 2016. Virtually the entire population speaks both the official language French and Antillean Creole. The local currency in Martinique is the euro. The great majority of the population is Roman Catholic. There are smaller numbers of Protestants, mostly Seventh-day Adventists, other Christians, and adherents of other religions. Some people incorporate elements of voodoo into their beliefs. The great majority of the population is Roman Catholic. There are smaller numbers of Protestants, mostly Seventh-day Adventists, other Christians, and adherents of other religions. Some people incorporate elements of voodoo into their beliefs. Martinique has a tropical and humid climate with an average temperature of 23 degrees to 29 degrees Celsius. 75 degrees to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. In fact, the average monthly temperatures remain remarkably stable, varying by only a few degrees year-round. The climate is moderated because of the trade winds, which bring refreshing breezes from the northeast throughout the year. The rainy and humid season is from June to October, but in general rainstorms pass quickly and the sun shines on most days. The island is vulnerable to devastating cyclones, hurricanes, every 8 years on average. December through May is considered the dry season. The warm coastal water temperatures stay between 20 and 23 C, 68 and 74 F. 20 Curaçao. Curaçao is a Lesser Antilles island in the southern Caribbean Sea and the Dutch Caribbean region, about 65 kilometers (40 miles) north of the Venezuelan coast. It is a constituent country of the Netherlands. Together with Aruba and Bonaire, it forms the ABC Islands. Collectively, Curaçao and the other Dutch islands in the Caribbean are often called the Dutch Caribbean. Willemstad is the capital of Curaçao and an area of 444 square kilometers, 171 square miles. Curaçao has a population of 158,665, January 2019 est. Dutch, Papiamentu and English are the official languages of Curaçao. The currency used in Curaçao is the Antillean guilder, ang, also called the florin. Religion in Curaçao: the majority of the population is Roman Catholic, with Protestant minorities, both evangelical and other low church denominations. There is also a Bahá'í temple and a synagogue. In Curaçao, the climate is tropical, hot all year round, with daytime temperatures ranging from around 28–29 degrees Celsius (82–84 degrees Fahrenheit) between December and February to around 31 degrees Celsius (88 degrees Fahrenheit) between May and October. The period from May to October is the sultriest, but the trade winds blow constantly, tempering the heat. Curaçao is an island, and together with the neighboring islands of Bonaire and Aruba, it's part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. 21 Aruba. Aruba is an island and a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in the southern Caribbean Sea, located about 1,000 kilometers (620 miles) west of the main part of the Lesser Antilles and 29 kilometers (18 miles) north of the coast of Venezuela. It measures 32 kilometers (20 miles) long from its northwestern to its southeastern end and 10 kilometers (6 miles) across at its widest point. Together with Bonaire and Curaçao, Aruba forms a group referred to as the ABC Islands. Collectively, Aruba and the other Dutch islands in the Caribbean are often called the Dutch Caribbean. Aruba is one of the 4 countries that form the Kingdom of the Netherlands, along with the Netherlands, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. The citizens of these countries are all Dutch nationals. Aruba has no administrative subdivisions, but, for census purposes, is divided into 8 regions. Its capital is Oranjestad. The island has a total area of 193 square kilometers (75 square miles) and a coastline of 68.5 kilometers (42.6 miles). Aruba has an estimated population of 106,766, up slightly from the 2013 estimate of 102,900. There are many languages spoken on the Caribbean island of Aruba. The official languages are Papiamento and Dutch, but most Arubans speak a minimum of 4 languages, including English and Spanish. Aruba's currency is the florin, but the US dollar is also widely accepted. Banks also exchange other foreign currency such as euros. Travelers' checks are widely accepted and there is normally no charge for using them in hotels, restaurants and stores. Catholicism is the prevalent religion on Aruba. In 1991, 85% of the population claimed to be Catholic. Church attendance is much lower. The first chapel on Aruba was built in 1750. In Aruba, the climate is tropical, hot all year round. Daytime temperatures hover around 29/31 of a degree Celsius (84/88 of a degree Fahrenheit) throughout the year. The air is muggy, but the wind tempers the heat. The trade winds blow constantly, and the east coast is affected by strong sea currents, while the western and southern coasts are more sheltered, and made of sandy beaches. 22 United States Virgin Island. The United States Virgin Islands, officially the Virgin Islands of the United States, are a group of Caribbean islands and an unincorporated and organized territory of the United States. The islands are geographically part of the Virgin Islands archipelago and are located in the Leeward Islands of the Lesser Antilles to the east of Puerto Rico and west of the British Virgin Islands. The U.S. Virgin Islands consists of the main islands of St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas, and many other surrounding islands. The total land area of the territory is 133.73 square miles, 346.36 square kilometers. The territory's capital is Charlotte-Amalie on the island of St. Thomas. The total land area of the territory is 133.73 square miles, 346.36 square kilometers. In 2010, the population was 106,405, with current estimates putting the population at 107,000 July 2018, most of whom are of Afro-Caribbean descent. The official and most widely spoken language in the Virgin Islands is English. The literacy rate in the Virgin Islands is around 90 to 95%. It is common to hear French Creole and Spanish spoken, particularly on St. Thomas, and St. USD as the national currency in U.S. Virgin Isles. As in most Caribbean countries, Christianity is the dominant religion in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Protestantism is most prevalent, reflecting the territory's Danish colonial heritage. There is also a strong Roman Catholic presence. As in most Caribbean countries, Christianity is the dominant religion in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Protestantism is most prevalent, reflecting the territory's Danish colonial heritage. There is also a strong Roman Catholic presence. The U.S. Virgin Islands have a tropical climate. Temperatures throughout the year are between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius (77 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit). In August and September hurricanes may occur. 23 Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands is an autonomous British overseas territory in the Western Caribbean Sea. The Cayman Islands is considered to be part of the geographic Western Caribbean Zone as well as the Greater Antilles. The territory is often considered a major world offshore financial haven for international businesses and many wealthy individuals, and has been placed on the EU's blacklist of foreign tax havens. The capital city is Georgetown, situated on Grand Cayman, the most populous of the three islands. The 264 square kilometer (102 square mile) territory comprises the three islands of Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, which are located to the south of Cuba and northeast of Honduras, between Jamaica and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. In 2018, the Cayman Islands had an estimated population of about 64,174 according to the United Nations. British English is the most commonly spoken language in the Cayman Islands, albeit with a distinctive Caymanian dialect. Jamaican patois is also commonly spoken in the Cayman Islands, and younger Caymanian generations had adopted certain Jamaican terms and expressions. The Cayman Islands dollar is the official currency of the Cayman Islands, although US dollars are readily accepted everywhere. Although some international banks abbreviate it as KID, the country's currency is usually identified within the Cayman Islands as $. The influences of American and European culture are most evident in the religion of the Cayman Islands, where Christianity is the most practiced religion. Within the island group, Christian denominations include Anglican, Baptist, Catholicism, Church of God, Presbyterian, and United Church, among others. The climate of the Cayman Islands is tropical, hot and humid all year round, with a dry, relatively cool season from late November to mid-April, when the northeast trade winds blow, and a rainy, muggy season from late April to early November. 24 Sint Maarten. Sint Maarten is a constituent country of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in the Caribbean. Collectively, Sint Maarten and the other Dutch islands in the Caribbean are often called the Dutch Caribbean. Before 10 October 2010, Sint Maarten was known as the Island Territory of Sint Maarten and was one of 5 island territories that constituted the Netherlands Antilles. Sint Maarten has the status of an overseas country and territory October and is not part of the EU. Sint Maarten's capital is Philipsburg. Total area is 34 square kilometers, 13 square miles. It encompasses the southern 40% of the divided island of Saint Martin, while the northern 60% of the island constitutes the French overseas collectivity of Saint Martin. Sint Maarten have 41,486 population as of January 2019. Dutch and English are the official languages of Sint Maarten. Approximately 67.5% of the population speak English while only 4.2% speak Dutch. Spanish, Creole, French, and Papiamento are the other most commonly spoken languages in Sint Maarten. The 2 official currencies on Saint Martin are the euro on the French side and the florin, Netherlands Antillean guilder or florin, on the Dutch side. US dollars are also accepted across the island. The main religious influences on Saint Martin come from European cultures. The majority of the people on both sides of the island follow Roman Catholicism. The climate in Sint Maarten is tropical, hot and sunny all year round. The daily average temperature ranges from 25 degrees Celsius (77 degrees Fahrenheit) between January and March to 28 degrees Celsius (82 degrees Fahrenheit) between June and October.